Doro.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to episode number 4 of the TD Markets podcast,
Season 2.
season 2. Joined by my esteemed colleagues, Seppo and Julian. It's been an exciting week.
Exciting week. Busy week.
Busy week. We saw America announcing their new interest rates.
Yep.
We saw Great Britain announcing their new interest rates.
Mm.
We saw Europe announcing the new interest rates. We saw the unemployment data that just came out of the US. I hope you guys joined us for that, but it was very unexpected. Very unexpected. And similarly, market movements we actually got during the course of this week was also a bit unexpected, with the exception maybe of FOMC.
FOMC, yeah, that was the only thing that I think actually really went the way it should have went.
Yeah.
But the rest was, I didn't expect yesterday's movements in the market with those interest rates coming up. I definitely did not expect NFP to come out double.
Listen, the movement from the figures were sort of expected. Just the figures were unexpected. Just to sort of catch up on that an NFP number coming out at 512,000.
And especially for January, right? Because December we set at 223,000 jobs. January double that. At the beginning of the year, I think especially at the beginning of the year, this is a good way to start the year.
Oh, definitely.
The job openings above 11 million, unemployment rate. Yeah, we could see that consumer confidence now starting to pick up, retail sales starting to pick up. These are the things that we need to look into. But I think I'm glad for these numbers. We can expect the dollar to now strengthen, which we've been anticipating, for so long.
We've been talking about like the last podcast or two.
Yeah.
We've been talking about how overextended the dollar weakness is, and we just want some strength into the markets. I think we're more than likely going to see that, and hopefully this carries through for the next 2 weeks.
So the data that we've got so far, I think Powell is smiling wherever he is now.
Yeah, definitely.
Inflation went down. We are waiting for the next print to come out. Interest rates, 25 basis points, but the data, the job market's looking good.
It's looking good. Like, have we seen 3.4% yet?
On unemployment?
Yeah.
No, I think we came down to from 4 to about 3.5, and then we were sitting between.
So that 3.4 is the lowest it's been
last 12 months.
Well, it's more than 12 months, but since it started declining, that's good to actually see. Like, that means the job market is still fairly strong, and I think that's one thing that they'll feel okay about. Job figures still looks very, very good.
Yeah.
Not very good, but it looks good in comparison to a lot of other developed countries. CPI is coming down, and I think that CPI numbers for the 14th is going to be crucial, because if we see that coming down as well, especially if we can get under that 6% mark, I think we're in for their dovishness to sort of come to an end.
Yeah, he did say in the press conference, though, it's nothing to get excited about. CPI and the inflation is still high and so on and so forth. But I think, like I said last time, he's been wrong in the past. Most likely going to be wrong again. And they're going to have to act real soon. Real soon.
What's the GDP sitting at the moment for the US?
That's also one of the important ones.
Yeah,
as well.
No, but
we actually the second time we've seen the NFP come out amazingly better after weak ADP figures.
And it's similar. Like last month, we saw really good ADP figures and NFP figures be on par. Nothing surprising in it at all. But that's when we saw more dollar weakness come into the markets.
So we're looking at GDP. We're looking for GDP now.
Yeah.
Go to trading economics.
The hub for all fundamentals.
100%. 100%. It's the only reason I ask about that is so we can actually see where we're gonna sit with regard to that stagflation. they're gonna get to a point now. If they're gonna sit with, go to just click on GDP on the right hand side. Yeah. No, down, down. So as soon as we actually get interest rates, or once inflation is below interest rates and growth is actually close to that interest rate mark and inflate, they're gonna get to that stagflation sort of perspective, and they need to start like cutting rates to stimulate more, to stimulate a lot more growth in the economy.
Yeah.
Growth rate sitting about 2.9%.
2.9.
So they're still very much like, stuff is a lot more expensive still at the moment than what they're actually growing at. So technically they're losing money from a real GDP point of view.
Yeah.
So you think the next announcement they might keep it at 25 basis points again?
Well, we had this discussion, more than likely.
Yeah.
Keep it at 25 basis points, and then sort of looking at, I still think like June-ish. I was thinking pause from June, but I think they're gonna cut from June.
Maybe pause on April, or pause on that April meeting, give it a month to pause, get that CPI data. If that comes out again lower, see why they would continue to, waste time keeping interest rates as high as they are.
Yeah, I do agree. Like if we see unemployment, or if we see CPI drop significantly lower, they're gonna have no choice. They need to start stimulating the economy by decreasing interest rates. That's sort of what I want and what I need.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. And around that time, I think we will see inflation still pushing lower. Maybe at 6%, maybe 6.5%, 6.8%. I mean, 5.5 or 5.8%, just below 6%.
I still very much think like the big economic driver this year is interest rate cuts. I think that's where the majority of the focus is going to be. CPI is still a factor because it sort of dictates that in a way. But definitely looking at getting interest rate cuts, I think most investors are looking out for that, and especially from an equity perspective. As soon as that cutting starts happening, we're going to see equity markets start pushing aggressively up.
One thing that's concerning me right now is that I do feel like the interest rate cuts, if it comes sooner than everybody else, could be bringing more strength to the dollar than what it's going to bring weakness.
No, I think the exact opposite.
I think so.
Yeah. Like there could be like a sentiment sort of a factor with regards to it, something like how we saw when we got like really good interest rate hikes.
Now, yeah.
No, like this isn't that.
No, but in this.
But like when we saw like 50 basis point hikes, and we actually saw market react negatively to that.
Yeah.
And I think the only reason for that is like they know, or investors know, and it's priced into the market that they need to start cutting somewhere. So it's likely that we can see more of the strength coming just for the weakness to continue.
Could be. Looking forward. It's starting out. 2023 is starting out.
Yeah.
Great January.
Yeah.
I mean, this was an awesome trading week. If you were reactive to the markets, you could have made a ton of money today, yesterday, Tuesday. So
yeah, today's drop's almost bigger than NFP's push.
It's crazy, and it's just holding the levels. It's literally just sitting, like breaking resistance and continuing to just sit where it is. Usually we'd see at this point with big moves like this some sort of a retracement, some sort of a shorter term pullback on the leg down, but it's just literally sitting.
So yeah. So you were saying most people are pretty happy about.
I think most people are pretty happy with about what we're seeing this week, getting this sort of weakness coming in on everything that we've been saying is overextended.
Yeah.
I mean, equity was a bit overextended, metals were overextended. Now we're sort of seeing that all come down, and it's just gonna line everybody up for better positions to get into for the longer term longs.
Yeah.
From the gold perspective, do you not think that we've reached sort of the cap?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Anything gonna go down?
No, just thinking.
Maybe
out
we
loud.
could see our 1500, 1300 level still this year.
I doubt it.
I don't see that. I don't see
Yeah, no,
that.
I also feel like.
I doubt it at the moment, but do you not think like the prices we're hitting at that it's at 2080?
Mm.
That's like all-time high levels. Like,
Mm.
and it's gold, man. What's the chances of it breaking above that, without having? Okay, we spoke about my fundamental reason, but I also think that's sort of null and void at the moment.
Mm.
Do you not think there's some sort of a, like it sort of reaches cap? Like we can't, like what's the reason for gold, which is a safe haven for one? There's no real need for safe havens at the moment.
Yeah.
There's no war that's breaking out.
Yeah.
Apologies to all the Ukrainians. But no significant news that can drive gold up significantly higher.
I think that one thing that could cause, and if we're going to see this happen, the one thing that could cause gold to push up tremendously would be if tensions between China and the US continue to increase. Because right now they are sort of rustling and tussling with each other over Taiwan,
The thing is, like, they both need each other too
threatening
much.
each
like-
other, and China trying to get rid of the dollar, using their own currency, wanting to bring in the BRICS currency to replace the dollar. I think that's really the only thing. If tensions between them would get worse to the point where it's becoming hostile, I think that would maybe cause gold to go further. A lot of in the physical market, people say gold is undervalued.
Why?
They just say it's undervalued. It should be worth much more, according to speculators and experts.
There's just people that believe Bitcoin used to be like 10,000. Oh, sorry, not 10,000, 100,000.
Yeah. Bitcoin is the new gold. We're probably going to see all of this dollar strength also destroy the crypto gains that were made in the last 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, I think we can take a look at Bitcoin a little bit later, but I think that level it was holding, sort of breaking through earlier this week on the 23,000, getting over 23,000. I think that's going to get wiped out as well. Huh?
In fact,
Not.
this is Bitcoin.
Not really.
It's just
That's
around,
also interesting.
rejected 24. It went to 24,000.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Rejected that.
That was a sarcastic oh well, by the way.
Interesting. I thought we would have seen a much larger drop off the news that we just got as well. Plus the interest rates. We had that dollar strength come in again yesterday. I would have expected this to be down a lot more. Good sign, perhaps, for crypto investors.
Yeah, I think it's gonna break this
Yeah.
level,
Yeah, hop out
Great.
of it.
and maybe that push to the downside might come. But where it is, I mean, if you were a buyer, if you bought Bitcoin, what is the most likely area you would take your profits? Would be this area. Right?
Yeah, I think.
Most likely.
Yeah, most likely.
So that's where I think we're gonna see a bit of resistance. It is a bit of resistance there, and maybe some will try and push it up, but that's where I would expect a bit of that drop to the downside. We still have this window that's still open.
Yeah. Needs to be full.
Needs to be filled,
Yeah.
and it aligns nicely with the structure to the left.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do not think Bitcoin's going higher than that anytime soon.
You
In the next 42 months,
24 months.
24 months.
Would you say it's gonna go higher?
But that was the bet, right?
Yeah, the bet. I still remember the bet.
No, but your bet was to the last highs.
Yeah.
Extreme highs.
Extreme highs, bro.
That's gonna take more than 24 months. If it's gonna go there, take more than 24 months.
The
If
last rally was 14 months. The previous one was 14 months. So I think 24 months is giving it a bit of leniency.
Yeah, but you have to remember the last one was on a bubble.
Yeah,
Crypto was literally a bubble then. If it's gonna get stability, and which it needs to, if it wants to be like a currency and be considered a proper asset, like it needs stability, and like there's no stability in this thing.
well, there's people now calling for, cryptocurrency as a whole to be banned in the States as well. The same way that China banned it, there's too much, fraud and criminal things surrounding crypto, according to some of the senates and lawmakers and things like that. They really want cryptocurrency out of the States as well, which they are the largest market. They are the largest portion of investors within the crypto market comes from the States. So
Yeah,
that definitely if something like that happens, you can wipe it off the table. I'll pay you the bet now.
I think, I can see that, and I agree with you. And I think a lot of this comes down to all of this crypto scams that's been happening in the market.
100%.
Jake Paul's or
Yeah.
all the Paul brothers
All the
coins.
polls, everybody.
All of these things just adds more pressure on it. Like it's just a scamish asset.
Yeah, it needs regulation. Some sort,
But like
some form of regulation.
But the same, like regulation is just gonna cause more downside
Yeah.
or stability, and you're not gonna see a bubble happening off of that.
Yeah.
Like regulation is not gonna cause the asset to rally.
Well,
It causes the exact opposite.
I think it might cause people to be a little, or it might be premise for people to be a little bit more comfortable in the crypto space, investing in the crypto space. Like I've said before, we're seeing a lot more smart money managers, hedge funds, these types of things, allocating certain percentages of their portfolios, which is very limited because the boards won't allow them to invest more than 5% into the crypto space, even though they want to, because they do regard it as a very high risk investment. So I think if there is a bit more regulation, it would give a little bit more power to money managers and smart money to actually invest in the crypto space, more so in the companies operating in the crypto space rather than the coins themselves. And I think obviously at the end of the day, utility is the biggest driver of any sort of token or coin. So yeah, it's a fun time to be alive. Lots of opportunities.
Earlier on this week, you told me about the news that just broke in the US.
Yeah. The Pelosi Act.
Yeah.
Yeah, where lawmakers and anybody basically that has access to because Nancy was a big controversy, has been a big controversy for a long time. Her and her husband are regarded the best investors in the world. They make billions of dollars off the inside information that they have, and they've literally called it the Pelosi Act because of that. And now nobody's allowed to trade anymore because they are in positions of having inside info. Lawmakers, senates, basically anybody involved in the government, they can't trade anymore. And I'm sure it's like that here. You can't trade if you're a politically exposed person in the government or working.
Are they gonna see that as insider trading?
No,
as well.
I get it, but I doubt it's like that in South Africa. But could possibly be. Like you always see it when with a lot of institutions and stuff as well. It's contrary to like derivatives, but you still can't trade your own company's assets.
Yeah, exactly.
So like I can see that sort of being the case. I am unsure. Like I do not know if something like that is the case. But regardless, it's especially from the perspective of lawmakers, and like the US law or government works so much different. It works so much different than
So yeah, here it is. Reintroduces bill to ban lawmakers from stock trading, preventing elected leaders from owning securities and investments. The Pelosi Act would prohibit members of Congress and their spouses from trading individual stocks. It will require members found in violation to return their profits to American taxpayers.
Yeah. Like spouses are very limiting though. I was suggested like any near relative,
Yes, like anything.
sons,
Even
daughters,
the best
uncles,
friend.
anyone like, and we do have something like that here as well. When political, whenever someone is a government official,
Yeah.
we do need to know that
Yeah.
because that's part of our regulation and part of the FSCA regulation. And we need to understand where the money comes from. That is not necessarily from money laundering or if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So
KYC.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. With the KYC, government officials is definitely on high risk
Yeah.
sort of aspect, and there's due course for that with the amount of corruption and everything happening within South Africa. We need to make sure that that money actually does come from where it's supposed to come from,
Yeah.
like valid sources, and not necessarily from bribery and illegal sources.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I feel like there should be something that's, you know, it should be, I don't know why it's not. It should be a law, it should be a rule. These people that have access to information that the general public does not have. I mean, that's why it's called insider trading. Shouldn't be allowed to do these types of things. So how long it's taken the states to actually introduce something like that surprises me, actually. Them being so forward with the markets.
Yeah, but that's the whole reason why I said
Her
again.
argument all along has been it's a free market.
But like again with US politics, it's super PACs exist.
Yeah.
Like that's just another reason for super PACs. Like if I almost said Sassel, but let's say Enron. Enron basically goes to, or Tesla goes to one of the politicians and say, okay, cool, we'll back you. Here's some information for you, or here's some stocks for you. This is going to happen. This is going to rise. That's sort of how it goes. And super PACs is just like government.
Lobbying.
Yeah, but lobbying and super PACs are the same thing. But it's just another way for them to sort of get into, and companies to get what they want by manipulating government officials.
Yeah.
And it's at the end of the day just
Lobbying.
greed. It's just greed.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting.
Yeah, so the Nancy Pelosi Act, we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, keep an eye on that. And the pound interest rates, euro interest rates,
50
Euro.
basis point hike.
both.
Both hiked 50 basis points, both plummeted more than 50 basis points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty strange for me. Like, I'm still trying to figure out what would have caused that weakness on such a significant interest rate hike. You know, if investors are looking at it, they're behind, the States is already lowering the amount of points they're raising rates at. But at the same time, I feel like they're still even with their rise this week, they're still 75 basis points away from where the States are sitting at. Most likely we'll get another 25. At the next meeting, they'll be sitting on 5%.
Yeah, but still, like from that point of view, like you can still see them maybe be comparatively off the pace from where the US is.
Yeah.
Maybe the US is closer to naturally being more post-pandemic normal than the UK and Europe is. I would suspect that Europe is or the UK might be closer than Europe on it, but
I mean, NFP's figures show that today. We've got such an increase in new jobs is a very good thing, and that shows growth, that shows expansion. So, yeah, it's completely opposite of what I expected. January has been strange, to say the least.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a busy week. Yeah, so I was just looking at GBP USD now. See, starting to drop now. So you all said pound lost strength
Yeah.
at the back of the interest rates.
Yeah, and the euro.
And the
The
Both of
euro
them,
lost a lot of strength as well. I mean, basically everything it gained after FOMC just completely wiped off the board.
yeah, but that's sort of what the driving force was behind that drop in gold as well.
Yeah.
Just where that dollar strength sort of came into the market. So I think like it's not clear cut yet on what's that GBP USD for that
GBP
short yet.
Yeah.
That double top does sort of make it interesting, but there's still like a rising trend line there.
Yeah, which if we take it from here, you know, it's just sitting on the trend line basically. Now we might okay, yeah, but I see what you're talking about. Yeah, a break below that rising trend line.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you draw it from there.
Break below the rising trend line there, then see this pushing more to the downside. That double rejection it's looking good. It's looking good for a short. Yeah, that means Euro USD is gonna follow as well.
Yeah.
If this drops. Yeah. No. Yeah. We'll just look at it. But my focus still on gold, eh? Focus still on gold. Now we'll see what gold is doing, but still focusing on it.
Well, I've been pretty much spot on it for a while. Gold has rallied significantly, due for a retracement.
Yeah.
We'll see who's right on how deep it goes.
I say no. Actually, let's talk about. I say it's coming to that.
Yeah, so it's gone to where you wanted.
Yeah, right around this, just somewhere there. That is 1870. I say it's gonna find support from there.
I'm thinking 50.
1850.
Yeah, 50 is in line with the 50-day moving average on a daily as well.
So this 1850 here. All right. So both of you all say 1850.
Yeah, I'm actually I like this level, this 1873 roundabout there. But yeah, like Xander says, the 50 could also be on the
What if we get both, maybe let's say the weekly or daily? What if we get a candle that breaks both but rejects and closes above both? What do we say then?
Then you're probably right.
Yeah.
Both
Like
of
for
us
me,
are
it's
right.
about like where it holds and closes.
Okay. Wait, it holds and closes. Okay.
Yeah, so like if we break your level and close below your level, you're wrong.
Okay.
If we go to like our level and like closes in around that place, we're right.
So even if
But I'm still
below
thinking like 30 is also like very much likely.
30, it's
Yeah,
right here.
30 also looks good.
Yeah, I think 30. Okay. All right. I know we will we will.
Or
We'll
if
see.
we really want to be optimistic, maybe like
Quickly do a fib extension or a
17,
fib from that
25.
bottom up.
From this bottom.
No, like that bottom where the triple bottom was.
Oh, that right there.
I want to see something. How deep was that retracement? No, down. Just on that swing.
Going down.
No, the upward swing. From there, but to the upward swing.
There.
Oh.
All right. Let's do this.
Shit.
Okay. So
How deep's that? Like 32?
161.8 is somewhere there. 1618.
It's probably about 32 there.
Yeah, that's 32.
Okay.
That's 32.
Okay, let's do. Sorry.
Mm. 32 is right there. 1870. So you think it's gonna repeat the same behavior?
Like I want to see if it actually does repeat that same behavior.
That would be a good trading opportunity, you know that, if it does that.
But what if you do this?
Yeah.
If that same behavior is on this?
Then I think
Because this is the
1830.
weekly, right?
This is the weekly, yeah.
So we're gonna sit in and around, yeah. I think you're wrong, my friend.
Let's see. Let's see. But yeah, that's my level, 1870. That's my level. So we see next week where it is.
Okay. We'll see tonight where it closes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Skype you. It's like
It's
sucker.
gonna close somewhere right there.
Oh, we've already had the market open. Didn't
Yeah.
see much more aggressive movements coming out of anything actually. Everything just kind of sort of sitting. had a little bit of a bounce on Euro USD, but
Euro USD.
yeah, just a little bit of a
Yeah, and gold too.
yeah,
This bounce there.
yeah, saying no to some levels.
Yo, Dow.
Sure.
Wow.
Equity is reversing strong.
Yeah,
sure.
that's what I was thinking to myself. Like I feel like this good ADP, oh well, sorry, good NFP numbers should actually be a little bit good for equities. But it's showing growth. It's showing, the economy stabilizing. It's showing people having a little bit more purchasing power. I think it's a good thing. I think we'll maybe start seeing NFP and those types of things even cause dollar strength, but also strengthening equities.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, we have been having very opposite reactions in the markets the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
So
look,
things
couple
that
of
we were
months.
used to, I think people that have been trading through the last 2 years had a shock this week. Especially with on like the interest rate rises, 50 basis points, getting all that weakness coming in on those currencies. I don't think anybody was expecting that type of stuff coming in.
The thing is for me, and I think if you like started trading recently, and like the thing is like market movements has been opposite to true fundamentals supposed to happen. Like what's going to happen like once it returns to normal is all of the people that's been trading this way will have to like readjust to say like why is it moving this way now?
Yeah.
Because the markets has been moving like in inverse to like how it's supposed to, like because we technically like increase like the interest rate rises, we're supposed to see more dollar strength. It's supposed to be like that way for a long time now.
Yeah.
We haven't. We're seeing dollar weakness now for the last
Couple of months.
3 or 4 months.
Couple of months. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we're
just-
all the way down on the DXY from like 114 to 103.
I remember that high.
And like how much has interest rates risen in this period? Like that's
Almost 5%, not even in a year.
yeah, but okay, but it's not like it's over the whole time. It's been
Yeah.
like that. Like that first 2 or 3 interest rates was positive, and
Yeah.
then after that, like it started changing patterns. So it's very interesting to me to actually see like what's gonna happen and when it's gonna change, because there is like a shift of how things being interpreted, but also like we're not sitting in normal sort of a market driven data at the moment. Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah, no. That's some fundamentals right there. Fundamental 101.
I know this is like 301.
301
Valentine's Day CPI coming
Yeah.
up.
coming up.
That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
That's on Thursday, yeah? It's a Thursday.
Yeah,
Yeah, that other week,
next.
Thursday. Yeah, well, we are gonna do a live stream on that.
Yeah.
Keep a close eye on that. And yeah, so this week has been fundamentals. Next week is a lot more. It's better next week.
Yeah, I think next week is a lot better. I don't think
Yeah,
there's a
very
lot
much.
actually happening
There's-
next week.
There's a few dollar events coming up, but not that important, if I may put it like that. They're not high impact, but there's a few. But other than that, yeah, it's just a clean week.
Yeah, but like we were speaking about that housing number still, and I think if they want to avoid that housing bubble, like they need to, or
Yeah.
that bubble popping, we need to like see that interest rates come down sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how the housing data on new home sales, existing home sales is going to start to influence the market, since that was one of the 3 things that Powell closer to the end of the year last year. That's going to be one of the things that they're going to be focusing on, plus core goods and services, and I think that one was energies. So those 3 things I think he's very concerned on, like I've been saying, hitting real inflation. Real inflation. And I feel like they're going to struggle to bring inflation down in areas where they can't really do anything. Homes are expensive, they're expensive, energy's expensive, it's expensive. There's not much that they can do to really offset the price.
Mm.
You can't just magically make more oil or have more electricity or have more affordable housing. It's something that's still market driven, demand driven, and I think housing across the entire globe is
Yeah, I would
it
agree
shouldn't
with
be.
you.
It shouldn't be.
I think everything's too
Yeah,
expensive.
that's gonna be the next focus, definitely. The housing, existing home sales, and all of that. Yeah, yeah. All right. So that's been the week. So looking forward to CPI. Next week is a clean week, and yeah, I think we'll talk about a lot of technicals next week on the podcast.
Yeah, 100%.
I saw an article.
Sorry to
Yeah, sure.
interrupt you. We've got Australia rate decision next week.
Okay.
So that could be nice, very early in the morning, 5:30.
25 basis points.
Yeah, expecting a 25 basis point.
Mm.
So we'll see how that's going to affect that. Other than that, there's not much. We've got a
Powell speaking.
Powell speaking next week as well. Might be interesting to just listen what he says. So have crude oil inventories, not really that much of an influence. The German CPI and initial jobless claims. That could be something to look at. GDP for Great British Pound. Employment change in the Canadian dollar. So yeah, I don't think like much to look at from a fundamental side, except for maybe those interest rates in the Bank of Australia.
Yeah.
And maybe the GDP might be two good things to look at trading next week. But yeah, I think you're right. Next week's going to be a very technical week.
It's going to be a very technical week. As I was saying, I saw an article but didn't really get to read it. It's on BRICS, where I think the BRICS might help with load shedding, right? I might be wrong, right? We'll just go and confirm that. But I saw a headline that says something like that.
Yeah.
BRICS might hit the call for Ramaphosa's what?
Yeah,
You are.
but do you not remember, like, we had a deal struck with Russia for nuclear power plants in South Africa, like, a couple of years ago? Nothing ever came from it.
Maybe the same thing.
It could be possibly the same thing, like, get more nuclear energy in South Africa. It's will open up a lot of, especially like with the amount of coal that we burn in South Africa, it's ridiculous. Nuclear might be our best sort of an option. Other than that, like, I think like we've got so much open land in the Northern Cape. Just put like so much solar panels in there.
That's what they're talking about in that article. I actually read the same article. It's sort of a 5-step plan or 6-step plan that Ramaphosa is working on. By the way, we've got stage 2 load shedding on Sunday, so that's cool.
Hey,
We've got like 11 hours of
come Monday.
stage 2. Monday we're back on, but yes, one of the things that they did mention there was right now South Africa is on track to be one of the biggest innovators in the green energy emerging markets. So we might be one of the first economies that actually runs on green energy. Like we might be one of the first clean
3,000.
Yeah, they're talking about it. And it's not just because of businesses that are converting. A lot of homes are converting.
But it's forced. It's not willing.
Yeah. Second thing that they said is yes, we are going to be getting assistance from BRICS countries. We are also going to be importing more power from outside. So instead of us supplying power to other places, they'll start supplying to us, and solar farms. So they want to take as much space up as they can with solar farms to see what they can put back on the grid. And they've also released a cap for homes and businesses to actually put energy back onto the grid. Whatever they have in excess, they can put back on the grid. And they're also looking at increasing gas-powered stations, or gas-driven power stations, because we now have our own natural gas plants and so on and so forth. I think it's going to be much more feasible running gas power, then it's going to be burning coal. It's much better for the environment. There's a lot of things that goes with that. But I feel like if they just sort out the problem with the dirty coal, and the bad coal. Like they steal the good coal and they sell it to China. If we could just figure that out and actually just have the good coal burning, we might cut 2 stages of load shedding.
Yeah, it's one of the things that sort of eats up the maintenance.
Yeah, they put rocks in there to make it
Yeah.
way more and
Heavier.
it kills everything. Like it's a problem. At least but rolling blackouts is becoming a thing everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a bit of an energy crisis.
Yeah. No. All right. Yeah, man. That's the week.
You missed something.
Week. I missed something.
Ronaldo ruined his career.
Where? What happened? What happened?
They're out of the league, the Saudi league.
Is it?
Yeah, this week. One of the team owners, there's a video on TikTok where he's extremely disappointed. Says it was a waste of $200 million.
But they only lost one game.
So I think they're still going to be playing games or whatever, but they are definitely out of their league, the also whatever the league's name is.
Yeah.
And he said he's going to be back in a Premier League team within the next year.
Brighton.
Brighton.
And now I don't know how they feel about buying Messi. If they think that's such a good idea now, seeing as they want to pay him double, you know.
I don't know. No, like any bets, who would take Ronaldo?
No one.
No one in the top half of the table.
I think it's a pretty difficult one. Hey, I mean, some clubs will not be able to afford him.
Like Tottenham would sign him, and
I
then
was just
Harry
about to
Kane-
say Tottenham.
Well, they're signing a deal with the South African government.
1 billion.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you not know that?
No.
Yeah. Salah's Harry Kane and they buy Ronaldo.
Yeah, if Harry Kane comes to us, then yeah, they can get Ronaldo. But I don't see that happening.
Where's Harry Kane going to come to here?
Gonna open up a school here.
What can do here, brother? There's no power. Stay where you are.
You know, open up a soccer academy. But I think Everton might take him.
No.
Everton needs.
No, it's
They sacked the coach. They didn't buy any players.
it's gonna Black Forest, let Forest like Bayern.
Nottingham Forest.
I don't know. Like I can't see any of the big clubs.
Yeah.
No one even in the like Newcastle. Newcastle might
Oh,
just buy him for
Newcastle,
the sake, for the sake of like the name.
Yeah.
To tell shit.
I was about to say to attract.
Merch.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I can think Newcastle would buy him, because technically, like they're probably the only people that will.
Yeah.
City
yeah. I
won't.
think City
Arsenal
won.
won't.
Liverpool won.
Chelsea won't.
Chelsea just
Okay,
won.
but I was speaking about top half clubs, not.
Chelsea not top half club.
Chelsea and Liverpool. No, they're like 9 and 10 at the
Yeah,
moment. Eh?
it's bad. It's bad. I saw Pogba. Juventus might ditch Pogba because
I
of
saw-
injuries.
Yeah, shame.
Shame, man. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So this weekend, we play Crystal Palace.
And we're in the final of the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, it's gonna be played next week, I think. Nah?
I don't know.
I think next week.
Mm.
That we're taking it. It's done.
It's against Newcastle, so let's see.
It's done. Taking.
We got a new midfielder.
Yeah, Sabitzer.
Guy looks good.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him play maybe this weekend.
Yeah, he might actually be his debut. Yeah, but that was anything besides soccer this weekend? Rugby, boxing. There was boxing. Or was it last week? Or the other week?
I didn't even follow it. It's like almost impossible to keep up with anything with all the stages of bloodshed.
Yeah, it's just bad.
But yeah, I know there's a few good fights coming up later this month. 25th of February, Jake Paul is fighting Tommy Fury.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a nice one.
Glam boy boxing.
On the 12th, next weekend, great UFC fight coming up between Islam Makhachev and Alexander Volkanovski. That's going to be awesome, like a double champ fight. So whoever wins there is going to be champion of 2 weight divisions.
Cheers.
So that's cool. Yeah, jam-packed UFC this year. We've got John Jones coming back. So if you're a fight fan, I'm sure you're looking forward to the next few fight cards that's coming up.
Yep.
Start
Yeah.
betting. This is my year. I'm gonna do some sports betting. So from in February, I'm sports betting. I might start a channel, Sport Bets, Julian. We'll see how it goes.
Julian Betts.
Please no, this is not financial advice.
No, this will be separate, like on my own. But yeah, I don't think there's much happening even on the rugby side. I don't know.
There's some rugby happening at the moment, not a ton. We do have Heineken Cup is busy at the moment. I think they're heading into knockouts at the moment as well. Knockouts on the Heineken Cup is close. Group stage just finished up. Then rugby championship still happening as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm
South
watching
African
at the
team's doing
moment.
pretty well. Heineken Cup, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, we're second. South Africa's second currently. New Zealand on top.
What are you looking at, man?
No,
It's the rugby championship.
what is
You're on the
this?
rugby championship. That's like the All Tri Nations.
Oh. What's this new thing called, man?
The
Super League.
oh man, that's super rugby. Julian's not into sports anymore.
No, I don't watch rugby, actually, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah.
let's see how the weekend goes.
Yeah, the
I'm
weekend
just
goes.
in the mood for just a relaxed weekend this weekend.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. I'm
Oh,
also
Sharks
relaxed
and
this weekend.
Stormers.
Oh yeah, Sharks and Storms are playing.
Sharks and Stormers playing. A bunch of other teams here I don't really care about. Six Nations is also this
Oh,
weekend.
there's Six Nations starting this weekend.
Yeah, Wales and
Interesting.
Ireland, England and Scotland. And then on Sunday, Italy and France. State France.
Okay.
Yeah. But there you go. If you watch rugby,
Cool.
Wrapping up for the week.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna have a relaxed weekend as well.
chill it
And,
out.
and I think
That's it from us, guys.
that's it from us.
Thanks for joining us, catching up. Hope you guys joined the NFP.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys next week for the podcast.
The next episode of the podcast.
Yep.
Right.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.